OU head coach Brent Venables receives a new contract extension, entering a new conference. Les Miles sues LSU over Dubs, still haunted by Vidal Alexander's bag, rapid fire gauntlet, and more. Hey, oh yeah, psst, the casuals are back.
Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir.
Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction. I am the mayor of college football, not the governor. He's on vacay today. Well deserved. It's a very special episode with us. I got the guys that pull all the strings in the background. You know the guy. He's on Debbie Downs and me, Mr. D now, aka Mr. Get It Done, Dennis Noel. Also with us today is my P2P Conrad. He's back. He rose up like the Undertaker, my brother from another mother, aka Boomer Jared Gray. Fellas, how we doing tonight?
Not too bad. I'm excited to get Boomer on. There we go. That was Boomer on.
I'm excited to be here. Like it's been too long for me. You know, me and Dennis did something not too long ago, and then it's been a minute for me and my boy. Obviously, my schedule's been crazy. That's all changing, so that's good. You'll see a lot more of me now, so that's good.
All right, there's no break.
I'm just trying to look like you guys, though. I decided to cut my hair. Look like
Hey, get that buzz cut. You're looking good. You're looking good. I'm not giving you any chance to, get into it, get looser. We're going right into rapid fire. All right, we're going to talk some issues here that's going on in college football. A couple of other things. Right off the ripper, we're going to go with Boomer. This goes to you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jackson Arnold will throw for blank yards and blank touchdowns in his first year as a starter.
3,127 yards and 32 touchdowns.
Okay. Now, talk to me a little bit real quick.
Here's the thing, right? I think last year Jaden Daniels really exposed a lot of what the SC defense struggled with, right? I think that the two players that are going listen, I love Milroy from Bama, but he's going to be quarterback 3 when it's all said and done. Wow. I think your boy Nico and my boy Arnold are going to battle for SEC newcomer of the year. So,
you ain't got to get any gripe out of me when it comes to Nico. My question is to you. You said 32 touchdowns. How many turnovers are going to come with those 32 touchdowns? Because what we saw real quick, Boomer, in that first game was a little sketchy and a little nerve. I get it, former Gatorade player of the year, in the country, but in that big moment, getting his feet wet, we saw a little bit of those sort of whoopsies there. So how many picks are coming with those touchdowns?
When you're trying to make plays with new offensive linemen and new tight end, 3 wide receivers coming into that game with 3 weeks of prep, you're just trying to make plays. So I'm going to give you here's what you're going to be shocked about. I think 11 total.
Wow.
32 and 11. And thing is, I think it's 3 fumbles. I think he stays under. I think he actually stays under in interceptions. I think he's looked really good in the spring. He's had 1 turnover in the spring, which says a ton. Summer ball, he's looked really good. I think Burks really helps him. Obviously, you're a big fan of Dion coming over. I think the class really has helped him. The offensive line looks really good. It's just going to be a whole different schematic, and everything with all the players and coaches that have finally starting to gel. Obviously everybody was leaving. So for the last one. So I think you're going to be a little shocked to a point. Like I said, I think as good as other teams are in the SEC, I think you're going to see Tennessee and Oklahoma really shine this year.
Well, you're going to see the kid get his feet wet early and often. And what a way to break it in your inaugural season, right? Going into big boy country. So I'm with it. Yes,
I think they wax Bama.
Oh, here we go.
I think they wax Bama at home. So we're clear.
Here we go. All right, we're going to flip this one to the other side of the screen here. My guy D now. What elite 11 quarterbacks stood out to you the most? Deuce Knight named MVP. Julian Lewis was named MVP of the Pro Session. Talk to me about who stood out to you and what was some big names.
Yeah, so I got 3 that stood out to me. First being Luke Nickel, the Miami commit. All week he showed that he was ranked too low for his class position. I think he's like 30th around there on most sites. He started off okay, but day 3 he came alive on that 7-on-7. He went 15 for 23, 3 touchdowns. Then obviously you got the big names, Deuce Knight, the Notre Dame commit. He had some questions coming in with his arm strength, but he showed he can make the sideline passes. And like you said, some had him MVP of the entire camp. And then finally you got Keelan Russell. He just put on a show the entire week. It sucks that he flipped from SMU to Bama, but he's going to be the reason why DeBoer lasts at Bama for quite a bit. He showed the whole package.
Yeah, shout out to my guy. To us, in the DMs, like, if he leaves, I think it's going to be a domino effect at SMU, and boom, wide receiver, and you see some guys on the defensive end also kind of decommit. So yeah, Russell you can only keep those special talents under wraps for so long, right? Coming in, he was kind of like the low ball right before year 11s. He took a rise in buzzing him, and then all of a sudden, when you're on the big screen, this kid just performs. So yeah, I love it. I love the names you mentioned. We're gonna get into a little bit of controversy. It seems like up on the YouTube community, I put out a couple posts. This one kind of skyrocketed, went off. You got 2 minutes. This is for both of you guys, all right? I'll go Boomer first, and I'll hit Dina. You got 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You're down 6. Which dual threat quarterback are you taking? Mike Vick, Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton? Boomer, you're on the clock.
For me,
Boomer?
Ooh, froze up. For me, it's easy. I'm taking Mike Vick. Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
All right.
For me, it's Mike Vick. Listen, that guy's a 4.240. Like, he probably has the strongest arm of all of them, and that dude won a national championship. The other two, listen, Auburn's team was elite. Can we name any other player on that Virginia Tech team besides Michael Vick? Because
hold on, Dino, I got to interrupt. Can you name another player on that Auburn team besides Cam Newton? Really, like, bro, but that I'm not gonna. I don't want to.
They're running back.
Go ahead.
What was his name?
The running back for Auburn.
Name him. You name him real quick, huh?
Can't think of his name right. He's from Arkansas, so I should know him. He's literally right down the road. But
Michael Dyer.
Can't think of his name right.
Dino, talk to me. I'm getting hot over here. The flames on the
defense was a lot better than
cooking me. It's cooking me right now. Go ahead, talk to me, please.
All right, I'm gonna go with Cam. While he may not have been 4.2 quick like Vic was, he could still boogie 4.5, but he would also run you over, which I think is the difference. And I'm gonna totally disagree with the stronger arm. I think Cam had a stronger arm than Vic. But I decided I'm gonna throw. Yeah, I said it. I think Cam had a stronger arm than Vic. I'm gonna throw my own wrinkle into it. So those 3, but what if we added Tebow and RG3 to the mix as well? Because they all kind of fit in the same pocket in my eyes.
Yeah, I guess we can throw them. But hold up, before we put into the curveball, all right, let's talk about. I'm with you with Auburn. Boomer. I think out of every game Auburn won, and that year was Cam Newton, was comeback. It was probably 75% comebacks. This is all he did was know how to come back with less talent. Yes, I'm a Mike Vick guy. He was one of my favorites all time. I don't know, and I had to eat a little crow on this from the governor because we had this discussion. I don't know if Mike Vick would have lasted in kind of in that the style of play that Cam Newton was in, bro. You had to be that big boy, and Cam Newton could throw the ball just as far as Mike Vick. I don't know if that arm strength was any different, but we want to talk, the extras. Go ahead, boom. Go ahead.
Here's the thing: Vic could change the game, drop of a hat, no matter what. Don't get me wrong, Cam Newton was a dude, but Cam Newton wasn't even a player, but for 1 year in college football. Vic did it for in college football.
Facts.
He didn't have to be.
Facts.
He was that good.
He had to go to junior college. He had to
Because
go
he
to
got
junior
kicked out for
college
a dumbass
to
reason.
become a player.
Bro.
He wasn't very good under Tebow. You got to think about
Yo,
this.
that
It just
was-
wasn't a
that
thing.
was-
He didn't do
It was
anything in
Tebow.
Florida.
He was trash.
Dude,
He got kicked off the team.
Dude, Chris
He got
Leak
kicked
started
off the
over
team.
Tebow. Chris Leak started
Bro.
over Tebow. Just so we're clear, Chris Leak
Yo,
won a
he
national
got kicked off the
championship
team
over Tebow in Florida.
because he was surrounded by dogs. Hey,
It's
put that to
so
the
hard.
side. Yo, he got kicked off the team for a laptop. That would have been a slap in the hand nowadays. It's just because they didn't want him on that team. He wasn't their guy. We can't hold because he didn't make it on that. No, he got kicked off that team for bullshit. We ain't gonna run down that one. That don't count. That one we could throw out the freaking window, bro. Cam Newton's a guy. I don't care. Outside of what he does personally, funny hats, whatever he does at his football camps, that shit aside, when you talk college football, a guy that came back and brought his team on his back, that boy had back problems. Had to go see a chiropractor after he left Auburn. That's how bad he carried that team. I'll take Cam Newton any day of the week. As far as the other two guys, they don't even register for me, man. I'm sorry. Tebow would be one of the greatest QBs of all time, but he had a perfect scheme surrounded by the perfect guys to fit his scheme. Cam Newton had Home Depot construction workers on his team, bro, for talent. So I got to go with Cam in the whole scheme of it.
All
right. Next one up. We're going to go with the next
It's
one.
either Victor Cam for me or the other two. I agree. Not on my list.
Boomer, the Doak Walker Award winner for the 2024 season will be
Ollie Gordon again. He'll back to back. You got to get. I don't think the competition really has gotten worse for him. You lose Texas and Oklahoma off your schedule. You can't tell me he don't run for 2,000 again. That's just where I'm at. That dude's a dog. I mean, he's an elite running back. I don't see anybody else stopping that guy. I'm sorry.
He's gonna have to. So you think he could tote the rock another 250 times, 260 times, at least? Because that's where he's gonna have to be at.
If his head coach wants to if his head coach wants to stay, yeah.
So you don't think, like, factor in the Damian Martinez going over to Miami and an ACC with some weaker defensive fronts that he's going to have to see? Or maybe Amari and Hampton? I know it's ACC, but these dudes perform. Ashton Genty? None of these guys, like, factor in? Because for me, Ollie Gordon was a one flash in the pan.
Right? He doesn't have to play Florida State up front. Doesn't have to play Clemson up front. Ollie Gordon doesn't. That's 2 games alone. He don't have to play Oklahoma. Doesn't play Texas. This dude gets to play Houston, Central Florida, Kansas, Baylor. I mean, I'm telling you, if Ollie Gordon doesn't win it, it's because he got injured.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. Let's rock. All right, I'm gonna throw a curveball in here. This one's gonna be for both of you guys. Keep, trade, cut, college football edition. Peyton Manning, Matt Leinart, Vince Young, D. Now. You up first, my guy.
All right. Immediately cutting Matt Leinart.
Wow. Okay, let's go.
I'm gonna keep. Oh man, I'm gonna keep Peyton. I'm gonna trade Vince.
Keep Peyton, and you're trading Vince Young. All right,
Yep.
Boomer, come at me. Talk to me.
Listen, college football.
College football.
Don't get me wrong. Right? I think Peyton Manning, one of the greatest players of all time. But when it's all said and done, he's my cut in this group.
Okay.
This is what it is. I'm cutting Peyton Manning. The other two won national championships. Okay?
I love that.
But here's the thing.
One of, if not the
win the
greatest
national
game
championship,
of all
or
time,
did the tools around him win the national
was
championship?
against those two.
Whoa. Hey, all
One
right.
of the greatest games of all time, USC Texas. Right? I'm an OU fan. One of the greatest games of all time, USC Texas. So I'm gonna have to keep Vince Young because what he did in that game tells you everything. And I'm trading Matt Leinart.
Now, when you say Matt Leinart, now we want to talk about it. Yo, outside of Reggie Bush, how good were the weapons offensively on that team? Dwayne Jarrett was his top wide receiver, correct?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, to what? To the Chargers said everybody says it's trash, correct?
No. The other Mike Williams.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. Darius Byrd. Lendell White. 4 offensive linemen.
Oh, I talked to.
You're proving my point.
They won.
You're proving my point.
I said receiver.
Outside of an illegal bush push, they wouldn't have made the Natty that year.
Wow.
It's
I'm saying. I'm
Wow. Wow. Oh, I started. So I threw a curveball. We got hot.
That's 1
got
year.
Hot.
That's 1 year. They won. The year they beat Oklahoma. They were the best team. They were the best team in football.
Let's get hot in here.
The year they beat Oklahoma, they were easily best team in football.
Yeah, but look at who stopped Oklahoma. They had what? Troy P. They had everybody under the sun on that defense.
Adrian
pretty
Peterson.
much went pro.
Andre Wolford.
Jason White, give me a
Jason White,
break.
Adrian
Dude
Peterson.
could barely walk.
Wow. It got hot. All right. Hey,
Adrian Peterson.
I'm reeling it back in. All right. I loved it. I might have. We're gonna have. This might be something that the governor might have to put in. We maybe have a new college football keep trade cut edition every rapid fire because this shit got spicy and hectic real quick. Real quick. All right, my next one. We're going D now. I want you to tell me who wins more games this season, Alabama and LSU.
To me, it's LSU easily. They're returning 13 starters from last year. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, they lost the Heisman winner, Daniels, Neighbors, Thomas, et cetera, et cetera. All I got to say is Nussmeier ain't no slouch. He's been there for multiple years. He's learned the offense. He was a top 100 recruit coming out of high school. But I think what keeps them or what puts them ahead is they're returning almost their entire offensive line, which I think is a huge get for them. They'll keep Nussmeier vertical. And, I mean, their defense is returning some dogs, headlined by Perkins, where Alabama's, I think, is going to go through some growing pains this year. The GOAT is gone, and they brought in DeBoer from Washington, who's going to go from more of a balanced attack to spread air raid type offense. And, I mean, I think Milroe might get exposed a little bit this year as a passer. But I think what really hurts them is Alabama's secondary is no more. The only person that we're returning is Malachi Moore, who actually is coming off kind of a shaky season himself. So I think that's really what's going to hurt them.
I'm with you. I think LSU is getting slept on. I don't think they're getting enough credit. I think they got them somewhere between 12 and 16 on different polls. I think that's caca. You can take that and put it in your pipe and smoke it. I think they deserve to be at least in the top 10. I don't understand why LSU isn't ranked higher than Notre Dame. What did Notre Dame do? Or who did they pay off to not be it just doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, LSU lost a lot of people. Yeah, Alabama lost a shit ton more people, a shit ton more 5 stars, and didn't reciprocate that back through the portal. So for me, it's could Bernard be the wide receiver one? Maybe, but that's a big maybe. Outside of that, who's it going to be? That backfield's got questions, right? Up front, okay. Milroe's arm is questions, and you hit it on the head with the defense. They have talent, but
they're just not proven.
Exactly. This could be their time, but they haven't done anything yet. I think there's guys like Perkins on that side of the ball, but LSU guys in that secondary have already proven themselves. I would have to say, give me LSU. I'm going to give you one more since we're talking about this LSU before we break off into this SEC power rankings. I put it up on the YouTube community. Better LSU wide receiver, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? I'm going to go to both of you. Boom, you're up first.
JJ's the best receiver by far. Better route runner, better release.
College. Not a body of work.
Yep, still taking it. I said when we had this conversation, when he came in, I thought he was the best wide receiver in the draft that year, and I still stand by that.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing. Just want to make sure you understood I was talking college body work.
Yeah. I think Jameson was the best receiver on that team.
I'm going to go with Chase. I think while yes, I think Jefferson elite talent. I think Jamar Chase is a crisper route runner. I think Jefferson is a better deep route runner, but over the middle, short routes, I'm going with Jamar Chase. I mean, you want to put their seasons next together that 1 year when they won it all. Chase had a better year. Numbers don't lie.
He's not lying about it.
I'll give you, he was a better deep pass catcher, Jamar Chase was. But when it came across the middle and I need a guy to catch percentage, I will take JJ 400 times over Jamar Chase. One had more drops than the other. I'll tell you what, wasn't JJ.
All right. Well, that, my friends, concludes the rapid fire. This is good stuff. We're gonna get into. I'm sorry I got you guys riled up. I threw some curveballs in there, and shit got hectic, real quick.
I didn't have time to prepare for those.
Well, that's the whole point of it. I got to keep you guys on your toes. You know what I mean? Something you're not ready for. We're gonna talk about SEC power rankings. Okay. Power ranked SEC from best source. What teams, right, have a legitimate chance of winning the SEC and making it to the playoff? And who is a dark horse team to keep an eye on? Boomer, since you're the new guy on the show, you're up first.
Listen, the dark horse per everybody else is Oklahoma because they're the newcomer. Everybody expect them to lose to Texas last year after their 40-something shellacking the year before. You coming in, they've had a top 5 recruiting class again. They've had a top 5 transfer class again. Which the only thing they were trying to build for is for the SEC. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the key for them is they kept Danny Stutzman, the anchor of their defense. They kept Billy Bowman, who had 6 interceptions. That dude has 9 interceptions total. He has 6 pass deflections. You just don't throw to that guy. The only other guy that I can compare Billy Bowman to is Antoine Winfield Jr. in college.
Ooh.
And
Ooh. And
you already know where I stand on that guy. So I think Billy Bowman's the best safety in this class if he decides to come out. Well, he will come out this year. He's the dark horse in the SEC because they're new. LSU should be considered, right? Should be considered, but they lost. They kept 13, but you lose Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner, 40 touchdowns. You don't replace that. It's just what I'm saying. I think the favorite is actually Tennessee.
Wow. I would have hit the clip, but I had to say that myself. Listen, I'm a Nico guy, okay? And you say they're the favorite for what reason? You riding the back?
Favorite to win the
entire
conference.
Yeah, when the SEC saying.
So yes, here's why, right? Everybody said that offense wouldn't work. It worked with Missouri when the head coach was the offensive coordinator. He threw for 4,500 yards with Missouri's team. Then he goes to Tennessee, right? Has continued to do well at Tennessee with 3 different quarterbacks. And we can all agree Nico is by far the best quarterback that he's had of any quarterback that so far, right? Can we agree on that?
Agreed. Yeah. But hold on.
Okay. I like Hooker. Should have won the Heisman if he don't get injured.
Hold up. Rewind. Listen. This is what I want to talk to you. Hold on. You said nobody said that was years ago. They've put quarterbacks in the NFL since they said that wouldn't work. It's what? That was 6 years ago? It's boom, I love you to death, but that's irrelevant. That has
but none of those quarterbacks are starting in the NFL.
Still had success in college,
yes.
Which they said was irrelevant, right? They said he couldn't do it, right? So they had success. What they said he couldn't do, he did, and that success got them to the NFL. I don't care if they're starting. One of them broke his leg, or his knee broke his knee. You can't hold that against him for not starting in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Joe Milton just got there. I hate him.
I'm just saying of all the quarterbacks he's had, he's had 2 at Missouri, been very average, right? He's 2 at Tennessee, very average. One guy can't throw anything but strength of deep ball. I love Hendon Hooker. Do not get me wrong. He's not a pro quarterback. He was a good college quarterback. Nico is a prototypical quarterback that is going to light up college football. You and me have been on the page with this one. The thing is, that offense was supposedly not supposed to work in the SEC, and now he has a team that actually has depth. Tennessee is going to be much better than Alabama this year. They're going to be better than LSU, in my opinion. The only team that really is going to give them hiccups is Ole Miss.
What about Georgia? They die?
My bad. So Georgia, I take it back. In the other side, I'm talking about this side. Georgia probably will be right there, but Georgia's got a tough schedule too. I don't know if they can beat Texas at home.
But this is right now. This is what Missouri coach Eli Drinkwitz is. You ain't giving that dude no credit. They got one of the top wide receivers in the country. They got your boy who came out of dusted off the Boomer Sooner and said, I'm going to actually show you how I can play ball out in Mizzou. And Theo Weiss had the best season of his career, right? And they got a quarterback that you could everybody counted out. And he says, count me out. I'm going to keep cashing these checks. I think they're right. Aren't they ranked higher than any other teams you just mentioned right now? Missouri's ranked higher than Tennessee, correct?
Missouri, just so we're clear, Missouri won't beat Oklahoma, won't beat Texas, won't beat Alabama, and won't beat LSU.
Won't beat Alabama. You want to put a $50 Toys for Tots bet on that right now, live on the CFB Overreaction? I'll take Missouri versus Alabama. You can have the points, my friend.
I think Missouri finishes fifth. Missouri finishes fifth in the conference.
I got them at fifth as well.
Overall?
Yep.
So
in the conference,
you have
fifth in the conference.
Who do you got ahead of them, please?
Me?
No, boom. Then I'll go to you. What's your order?
Who are your top five?
Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama,
Georgia.
Oh, you're on timeout.
Texas, LSU, Oklahoma.
All right, D. Now, who do you got finished ahead of them? And then I'll let you break it down.
All right, so I got Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, and LSU ahead of Missouri.
Okay. I would bring up the schedule when we get into it, but I think we might get a little sidetracked in this one. This could lead to a very long episode. But I don't think that their schedule is harsh for them. And I think they have a favorable schedule compared to, although I do like LSU. LSU kind of has a shitty schedule of teams that they have to play, right? Alabama, we all know, has a very shitty schedule on teams that they have to play and away. Like a lot of their games away. I don't trust Milroe in the new offense that he's got to go through and all that in year one.
I got Bama 7-8 in power rankings. So.
All right. So you tell me right now, boom. Dino, who is your dark horse team, right? And who do you think has a legitimate chance? I think I know who you're going to say with a legitimate chance in this one, but who's your dark horse? And give me who's your legitimate chance. We'll wrap up this segment.
All right, so I got two dark horses. While I don't think they're a favorite, I would consider them a dark horse. I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. And my other one is Kentucky. Both schools can be extremely streaky, and I think if the right things start to click, that they'll roll. My legitimate contenders, obviously, there's three. I got Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas.
No, I gotta bring it up because I gotta see. I just have to. All right, this is Missouri. Okay, you guys want to hate on me, right? They play Murray State, Buffalo. I love BC, but BC, Vanderbilt. That's 4-0, right? Yeah. Texas A&M, UMass, Auburn, Alabama. That's 7-0. And you got a team that's in the conference for the first time going to Missouri. And you want to tell me that you're willing to guarantee me that Oklahoma with a freshman.
Oklahoma owns Missouri. Oklahoma owns Missouri. They used to be in the Big 12.
Owned.
We own them. We own them.
You got to give me something better than we own them.
When they were relevant, they were the number one team in the country. They were the number one team in the country in Oklahoma.
Boomer, I love you. This ain't 1999 anymore,
That's
brother.
What I'm saying, bro. Missouri ain't trash anymore.
It wasn't 1999. They weren't trash then. They were the number one team in the country.
10, 12 years ago? Because I don't remember Missouri being number one in the country.
Yeah, when they were in the Big 12.
That was at least 10 years ago. At least, right?
Hey, let's talk about this. I've been on this when A&M and Missouri weren't supposed to compete in the SEC, and both competed well. The Missouri has been to an SEC championship game. They've won a division, right? A&M did the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. These teams were bottom feeders at Oklahoma versus Oklahoma and Texas. That's why they didn't want them in the SEC, right? We're not talking about Oklahoma and Texas being, teams who Texas. Oklahoma has lost 6 games one time in the last 20 years.
How about this? I'll give you the dub, Oklahoma, okay? But you got to explain to me the rest of the shit and how they can't be in the top fucking 5. Because now I'm getting hot, all right? Because look it, they lose to Oklahoma, 7-1 or 8-1 actually. South Carolina, that's a W. Mississippi State, that's a W. Arkansas, that's a W, bro. They're gonna have one fucking loss and they're not in the top 4 in the fucking SEC. Now I'm hot. Somebody talk to me and calm me the fuck down because I don't understand it.
But you think they wax Alabama, right?
Wax them, smoke them by halftime.
Dude, we're talking about a team that was in the national championship.
They ain't got the same team
playoff picture last year.
And I'm talking about 15 4 or 5 stars that walked out the door that was starting last year. Continue. Bringing in a whole new offense, and you didn't bring in your guys.
It's still at Alabama. College football at home.
And they're going to have already 3 losses under their belt. Mizzou's coming in there undefeated.
All right, so my only thing is...
are you going to be watching?
And if they lost to, if they lose, and if they lost to Alabama and they lost to Oklahoma, which I don't think that they're going to lose to, honestly, I think they win one of those 2 games. So even if they lost 2, that's 2 losses. Georgia's going undefeated? We were going to say, right? Pretty much, they're going to go undefeated. So that's 1 with no loss. Someone else going to get an L in there. Someone else is getting an L in there, right? Ole Miss is going undefeated because nobody on this show wants to say they're going undefeated. Because you're going to stand on business. They're going undefeated. Okay, so that's 2 undefeated teams. I need 2 more teams to be ahead of them. Even if they lost 2, we can go to their schedule and we'll talk about that one before we move on because these guys ain't getting no credit. I'll be the same one to say that. I thought Brady Cook was trash last year. And they booed him out of this team. His own student section was booing him out. And he told him to kiss his white ass. He kept going. And he would let them. And he was a top dude in the SEC. All right. So now that they're favored, now that they're getting people
Georgia and Ole Miss can't go undefeated.
They face each other, right?
Either Georgia's going to, if you're saying Georgia's going undefeated, Ole Miss can't. They play each other.
Okay. So now we're back to only having 1 undefeated team in the SEC. I'm sorry, Mizzou's going to be one of them teams with 1 loss.
By the way, Ole Miss plays LSU, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia, back to back. And you think they're going to win all 4 of those?
Yes.
So then that's fine. If they beat Georgia, Georgia has an L. So now Georgia's not undefeated.
All right.
Tennessee's not going to lose 2 games.
I will tell you this. I think a 2-loss SEC team makes the playoffs, though.
Oh, well, yeah.
All right, so here we go.
100%.
I'm still a fan of Texas, right?
Yep.
Texas faces Oklahoma in Oklahoma. Whatever I say, Texas wins that game. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
It's Cotton Bowl every year.
That's fine. The next week they face Georgia, homie. So Georgia could have 2 L's if you think Texas is that good. Back to my point of Mizzou's going to be in the top 4.
I think Georgia beats Texas.
Think Georgia beats Texas.
Looking at the schedule, I will agree with you. Missouri might have the easiest schedule in the SEC.
I come prepared, my friend. I come prepared.
Right now, you're right. That schedule's weak as shit.
If they beat one of Oklahoma or Alabama, they can go to sleep and be in the SEC championship game, bro. They got to win one of those games. They only got to win one. And if they win both and are undefeated, God bless the rest of the SEC. God bless. Because they could fuck around and get a bye.
Yeah, I mean,
and everybody
they don't play. I mean, that's the crazy thing. They don't play Texas. They don't play Georgia. They don't play LSU. They don't play Florida. I mean, it's wild to me. You're right. I'm with you. I think the only game they probably have to worry about is Oklahoma.
And you said Kentucky is a dark horse, right? My question is Kentucky. They got a little bit of a gauntlet too, right? Like
they
you
do.
got Georgia off the rip. Then you got
Ole Miss. Though, if they get rolling, though,
it's gonna be hard to get rolling if they.
I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're a dark horse. But I mean, with Brown and Key on the outside, if they get rolling and they start clicking, I think they can make some noise.
I did say one thing. Oh, I don't know if I did on a podcast, if it was a tweet or something. It was a tweet with John Lobb. I said that I think Chip Trainum could have a Ray Davis type year. Like he could literally replicate everything that Davis did for Kentucky. My concern is
Vandegrift.
Yes. I need to see something outside of practice squad throwing the ball. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's been a minute since he started. But I do like Bush Hampton there because Bush Hampton, we've seen what he did with Aston Genty, right? Like Aston Genty was a weapon on running the ball, receiving the ball. They were able to pass the ball when everybody was healthy until all the quarterbacks went down like dominoes. So if Liam Cohen's out, and what happens? Usually when it's the offseason of Liam Cohen, that offense looks shaky. So we'll have to see. There are a lot of underlying factors there. But if they can make it out of that and beat one of Georgia or Ole Miss, they'd be okay. But that also throws a wrench into Georgia and Ole Miss's run in the SEC and knocking out my Missouri team. You know what I mean? So, all right, that was another one. Whew, that one got spicy real fast. All right, I got hot. I'm sorry, fellas. I didn't mean to come at you, but I was ready. And when you guys weren't mentioning them, I'm like, dude, they could go to sleep and easily be undefeated. They really could. Yep. It's crazy. Let's talk about. I guess it's the elephant in the room right now, right? I have to be. It's kind of funny that it's come down. And this guy must have nightmares about this because he can never get away from it. But things are kind of getting nasty between the LSU Tigers and Les Miles. LSU did a self-imposed ban, which I've always said just tells you're guilty. You make yourself look stupid. But now, like KT says, growing in popularity as of late. And that self-imposed ban, the university vacated 4 years of wins, which obviously kicks my man Les Miles out of eligibility for the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, as self-imposed ban happened after the university made aware of our guy there, Vandal Alexander, which is who he has nightmares about, and his family receiving six figures, close to $550,000 this old man took a check wire transfer for, right? So, fellas, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot of greaseball stuff that went in back in the day, and now it's coming back to hurt him. But before I get your answers, I also want to throw in there kind of a guy that we were all kind of out on here. Greg McElroy says that regardless of the vacated wins, Les Miles doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, which I think is horseshit. But before we get into the whole situation, what do you think of Greg McElroy's comments? And let's get into this LSU scandal. D-Now, you're up first.
I'm going to catch some flack here. As much as I hate Greg, I think he's right. Woo! I don't think Les Miles was a Hall of Fame coach. In today's society, it always boils down to how did you finish? How did Les Miles finish? Ass at Kansas. Yes. Especially with what Kansas is right now. He finished ass. And then I'm going to go, I think vacating wins is the dumbest punishment that's out there. I mean, you talk to anybody, it's going to be, hey, who did Ole Miss beat or LSU beat week 6, whatever. They're going to tell you because they were there. The game happened. They won. So again, vacating wins is dumb, and I stand on that hill. Les Miles is not a Hall of Fame coach.
Even with the with a natty, still not a Hall of Fame coach.
Yep. Nope.
With like double digit, like with 10+ winning seasons, still not a Hall of in the SEC.
I got this.
2 SEC championships, still not a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Boomer, your answer to this, and then we'll come back to the whole situation. Good.
Listen,
Boom.
if I told you a coach went 114 and 32 with the national championship and 2 SEC championships in the SEC, and you told me he didn't belong at all, we got problems, right? Right.
All right, let me ask you this then.
That's
Gene Chizik. Is Gene Chizik a Hall of Fame coach? Because he won 100+ games out of the Natty. Is Gene Chizik a Hall of Fame coach?
Who?
Exactly. I think you just answered my question.
Wait. Hey, would you put
Maybe.
Mac Brown in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even
100%.
though it took him a dog's years to get 100 wins at North Carolina?
Yeah, because look at what he did prior to that, though.
Texas.
He
He
won
won a
it
natty
twice in
Texas,
North Carolina, though.
Yeah. Are we
but
counting
he-
recent
he's
North
been-
Carolina, or are we counting first time North?
North Carolina.
He didn't win 100 wins at North Carolina twice. He won 100 wins at North Carolina collectively. He was a coach in North Carolina twice.
No, yeah, but we're talking about North Carolina. They're a basketball school. We agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he still made them a winning program and got his quarterback drafted in the top 2. So, Mac Brown 100% deserves it. He's
Okay. I'm just
100%.
trying to
I'm an OU
gauge
fan.
here,
And
like
That dude deserves
where you feel Les Miles would fall. Like what would he have to do to be a Hall of Fame coach? Get another natty? Because I don't know 100 wins in the and 75% of those wins in the SEC, 2 championships in SEC, and a natty. I think that's gonna that punches a lot of balance.
He got 145 and 73. He was
Yeah, but not all of them
108,
were in
73
SEC.
at
Some of them are in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I don't
With
count. I count 100.
State.
He's got 100. He's got 100 in the SEC. He's got 2 championships in the SEC, and he's got a fucking natty. To me, that puts him in the Hall of Fame. To me.
So is Gene Chizik a Hall of Fame head coach then?
Okay, hold on. How many years differential between Chizik and Les Miles? Because I think Chizik probably got about 10 of
I
them.
think they overlapped. Yeah, they definitely overlapped.
The amount of time. I mean, you got 100 wins in 25 seasons. That's a different discussion. You get 100 wins in 15 seasons. Okay, now we're talking a different ballgame. Because I think Chizik's got 8 to 10 on him.
I mean, Gene Chizik only has 76 total wins. So no.
So he didn't even get 100.
No, but he's got multiple. He's got multiple SEC championships and a natty.
But
Then yeah.
he's not eligible.
He doesn't have 100 wins.
Okay, if he had 100 wins though, let's.
All day.
What
All-
is? He's a
all
Hall of
day.
Fame coach.
First ballot. If you had 100 wins in the SEC,
Okay.
that many championships and a natty, check. You know what I mean? But you ain't hit the century. That's the century mark starts to me. How many wins in the SEC? How long were you in the SEC? You got 100 wins in the SEC, okay. But were you in the SEC for 25 years? Because that's dog shit. You know, that don't matter. If you were in the SEC for 12 to 15 years with 100 wins, okay. Yeah, we're talking. That means you were 10. You might have had a couple of 8-win seasons, but for the most part, it was 10 or more every year. You had to be close to being in the top 25 or top 10 at the end of the year, right? And you had a chance of being a natty. If Chizik got that at 100 in the same amount of time as these dudes, then yeah, I would be in the same ballot. But he ain't got 100, so unfortunately, he don't meet the criteria for me anyway.
He doesn't.
All right, I got a couple more here. KT, I'm sorry. I got hot. Things got hectic. You know, we get off topic. I come back. Here's another one. I think this one's going to get everybody fired up. Is Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond a first-round pick? Dino, you're up first.
As of today, I'm going to say no. I think he's a fringe. He's a fringer. But no, I think he doesn't have a complete body of work yet, which is hurting him in my eyes, which is why I can't put him in the first round.
That's me saying I concur, my friend. Boomer, you're up.
Not a prayer. I think it goes in the 3rd round.
Ooh, okay. Now elaborate a little bit more on that. If he goes in the 3rd round, how many receivers do you have him going? Is he in your top 10?
He's probably my top 10 wide receivers. I don't think we take 10 in the first 2. I think I don't think it's a great class, right? I think we had a really good class last, couple years, but I don't think.
Hold on. I gotta stop you because I feel like we said this shit last year and the year before, and then all of a sudden, when it came to Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, Combine, and now we're going to deep
want to
class.
point out, I called 6 wide receivers last draft, and
You did.
I believe there was 6.
I'm pretty sure Worthy was 6, right? He made the
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Boom. I'm just saying we all seem, everybody in this community, right, in the draft community, we all seem to say, this ain't a really good wide receiver, not that deep. All of a sudden, we're 25 wide receivers deep in the first 3 rounds. This running back room ain't that good. All of a sudden, we got 6 running backs going in between 35 picks.
Simple question for you. Simple question for you. 2 years ago, we went to the Senior Bowl. Mm-hmm. What was one wide receiver we were like, it don't matter? Was Rice? two guys.
Rashee Rice?
Rice was one guy. Who was the other guy?
Dell. Who's a better wide receiver, Tank Dell or Isaiah Bond? Oh, Tank Dell.
When was Tank Dell drafted?
Tank Dell's draft stock was hurt because of his size.
Tank Dell's draft stock was hurt because quarterbacks couldn't get him the ball correctly at the Senior Bowl.
Real quick, Isaiah Bond is 5'11", 182 pounds. That dude is not 180 pounds.
Where did Worthy go?
Worthy ran a 4.21.
Who's to say Bond won't?
Because I don't think that's going to happen again anytime soon. It's been how long?
I bet you he runs a 4.3.
A 4.3 is fine, but it's not what Worthy ran.
He's Worthy fast, but I mean, if he runs a mid 4.3 though.
But it was also, I think Worthy fell to the right landing spot.
Yeah. I also said he was a fringer.
Right, but like to say like if Miami wasn't the team at the bottom end of that draft, does Worthy creep into the first round? I mean, does Kansas City, right? Kansas City. Is Kansas City like if they weren't there?
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, honestly, who's a better wide receiver in your honest opinion? Adonai Mitchell or Worthy?
Oh, Mitchell.
I'm gonna go Worthy.
So why wouldn't he draft it before Worthy?
I go Worthy.
I don't think so. No,
I think that's there. I think Isaiah Worthy's problem, was the year before he got hit with injury prone and had the dropsies, right? This year, he was damn good. Unfortunately, the guy I put flag on and Quinn Ewers couldn't get him the ball deep. That hurt his stock as well. He raised the shit out of his stock by running out of the gym and the combine and just showing out in pro days. I mean, he got labeled as a guy with speed, which is horseshit. He's a guy with speed who can run fucking routes and fix the issue that he had for 2 seasons, which was dropping the ball. Like he fixed that. I think he had 6 drops the season before. I don't know how many he had this year, but I want to say cut that in half, right? And he didn't have a guy really that could lead him, and what he was really good at is taking the top off the ball. So, in my opinion, I think Worthy's a better receiver, Adonai Mitchell, because Adonai Mitchell to me just seems like the home run guy, another kind of like a Jalen Hylett dude, right? Like he's super athletic,
body, dude.
But he just happened to be the home run touchdown guy. You know what I mean? Like that's my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, but that's what I saw. So I don't think Bond's a first round pick, but I think if Bond ends up being Texas's wide receiver 1, there's a chance you could get that Xavier Worthy rise because Texas is supposed to have a good year. Texas is that premier program, right? And he went from Bama to them, so he could be that dude. So there is, there's a chance. Right now I got him outside of it, but there's a chance. Another question for you guys. Is the Maxwell Award just a quarterback award at this point? It's supposed to be the best offensive player, right? But it seems to just be a quarterback award. Like Penix won it last year. I think it was quarterback before that, and a quarterback before that. Boomer, you're up first. Is it just a quarterback award, another glorified position award for these guys?
The only reason I'm going to say no, and yes, we gave it to Penix and stuff like that. You got Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. Here's the thing: is I think all 3 of those guys were the best player in football, right? That's what it's supposed to be, right? Then you got Devontae Smith, Joe Burrow. Those guys won the Heisman, right? It's the other Heisman is what a lot of people would say, right? Tua, Baker, Lamar, right? Derrick Henry, Marcus Mariota, and we'll go from there. Here's the one that should have never won it, A.J. McCarron. Like, absolute terrible, like, probably one of the worst Maxwell Award winners I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Manti Te'o won it. Andrew Luck won it. We agree. Cam Newton won it. All these guys, this very different guys. But how many times do we actually give the great player the Maxwell Award winner, right? It's been the Heisman Trophy favorite who's won the Maxwell, right? Because 95% of the time we want to who won the Maxwell won the Heisman, right? There's been those few times where Jason White won the Maxwell, lost the Heisman, right? Or Adrian Peterson, right? In the same aspect. Vince Young won the Maxwell, didn't win the Heisman. So there's few times where it's been that way. And yes, we can say it's a quarterback award. I think it's because it's so overlooked because of the Heisman. So they're trying to stick with the voters and trying to, we picked the same guy, right? To where they had like one or two guys just like this absolute terrible pick. But remember Larry Johnson won it. So, that's a fun one for me. So in 2002.
Should have been Brad Banks.
Yeah.
Should have been Brad Banks.
It should have been Brad Banks actually that year. But before we flip it to T, now my question to you is: you mentioned 12 names. 3 of those names weren't quarterbacks. You're looking at an 80+% ratio of a quarterback winning. And if it goes to the best offensive player of the year, the guy who scored 50+ overall touchdowns should have won the goddamn award last year. I'm sorry, Michael Penix. You didn't deserve the award. Jaden Daniels deserved the award. Hands down. 50 overall touchdowns. 1,000 yards on the ground. 5,000 total. Like, I just don't understand it. I feel like sometimes it's we don't know who to give it to, so we'll double up the Heisman. Otherwise, it's the layup guy. But it just always seems to be a quarterback. Like, if it's going to be the overall guy and you don't want to give it to Daniels, I'm sorry, Michael Penix didn't deserve it. Ollie Gordon, just like, how did he not? I get it. Don't look. How did he not get it? Like, he was one outside of. I just don't understand where they're coming from. That's why I feel it's just a quarterback-driven award. That just another guy. It's the layup. We're not going to do any research.
And that's what
We're just giving the second best quarterback.
Yeah, that's what Davey O'Brien's for, right? I mean, the Maxwell Award winner should be the best player in college football.
That's why I think there should be more, parity in who wins. This Maxwell Award offensive player. Dino, talk to me. What are your thoughts? You're on the same page as me, I think.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the same page as you. It's a glorified QB award. Pretty much the Heisman's almost become a glorified QB award. The only reason Devontae Smith won the Heisman that year is because he had to do all the extra special team stuff to help Alabama. There's a year that I agree Ollie Gordon should have won it last year. Melvin Gordon, the year he went over 2,000 yards on the ground, I believe should have won it. But yeah, it's the guy who handles the ball, the flashy guy. Everyone loves the quarterback. So it's just a glorified QB award in my eyes.
I think so too. Maybe we can get this thing going, get something out there. Maybe get this buzz going. This thing will take off, and get it to the masses, and we'll change it. But last one, I'm gonna really make you guys think on this one before we close it out. Give me Big 12 breakout player of the year. I got 2 guys in my head. I kind of gave you guys little dimes in the green room, but I got 2 guys in the back of my head. I'm hoping one of you guys say, because I think these guys should be. If I had to bet, and we're betting, if we want to put bathroom board bets on, I'm taking one of these 2 guys. Boomer, you're up first. Who you got?
I pulled up my list. Here's the one I've got for you. I think Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati coming in to be the starter over Emory Jones, who didn't belong there anyway. But Brandon Sorsby, I think, is going to be the breakout player of the year for the Big 12. For me, I really think he has a good chance to really shine, because Cincinnati was absolutely terrible in general.
They started out hot, then they kind of fizzled at the end. Emory Jones had a reemergence last year. I want to say I truly believe he got picked up in his UDFA. I don't know if he's there on a team still, but I did hear a little bit about him. Well, good luck to the gentleman, but I'm a Brendan Sorsby guy. I think he got the wrong end of the stick in Indiana. They didn't really put enough pieces around him, right? And he did pretty good over there. Now he transferred over. I think this is going to take. Listen, you've seen what they did last year, right? Got a couple more pieces around him. Corey Kiner in the backfield. He's got three-headed monster running behind him. He's got protection up front. He's got to show a little bit. He wasn't one of my guys, but I love that pick. Dino, who you got?
So I got 2. They're on the same team. One of them is obviously your guy in Iowa State, JJ Cole. If he's able to beat out Rocco, I think Rocco may start the year, but JJ will probably replace him. And my second one for Iowa State is freshman running back Dylan Lee. Iowa State is known to have 2-3 running backs offense, and with Abu
Sama.
Sama, yeah. Being obviously the guy who's going to get a majority of the rocks, they're going to need a second back to help them, and that guy kind of went off in their spring game, so that's where I'm going.
I like that. My question to you, and this is kind of a question that I have a little bit. I know he was a freshman last year. Will Iowa State give him over 150 attempts? I think he had just about that last year, around 125 to 150. Because he's got to be the workhorse, he would have to get 200 plus, correct? Right? And we've also seen the Cyclones kind of go with a two-back set in these ODS, but we've also seen Breece Hall be the guy and be the workhorse and do it all. So it'll be interesting to see in that room. I do like that pick there. I think that's a nice sneaky pick. Two guys that I got, I think one was kind of a layup because he flashed a little bit last year, but he had no starts. So by default, this still works for me. Avery Johnson. He's got to be on people's list for breakout player. I mean, he's probably one of the top dual threat quarterbacks in his class. He had 4 touchdowns, I think it was 6 touchdowns or whatever it was, 5 touchdowns in that one game, all on the ground. Nonetheless, we saw him in the bowl game. He flashed a little bit. And then I'm going to go with the true freshman because I think he's going to lead this room for Texas Tech and Micah Hudson. I think he's the best wide receiver in that room. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is going to be, right? Whether it's Hammond or it's Morton this year, whatever they want to do. I think he's going to be that guy. His body control, his contested catchability, his athleticism, the way he works the perimeter. I think this kid's just going to take off early, and it's going to be hard. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think there's a chance because everybody's looking at these big dogs and Coleman, right, and Trader and Smith. Micah Hudson could mess around and be the best wide receiver out of this class year one. Not saying at the end. Year one, he could lead this class. So give me Micah Hudson or Avery Johnson.
I'm going to throw out one more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go he's a transfer in DeQuan Finn.
Ooh.
If he can win the job.
Oh, are you hearing something that I'm not hearing?
No, I'm not, but they're returning someone, so obviously I don't want to rule him out.
Hey, okay. We can have another fun one. What about KJ Jefferson going to UCF?
Yeah.
Here's my problem.
Gus Malzahn's offense.
It'll be fun there.
That's the only.
It will be fun there. My problem is he looks as though he's having a little bit of fun in the sun, getting a little plump. Okay, and you go down there and you're already in the news about some kind of driving incident where you're getting arrested already. You're not starting out on the right foot, especially when he said in his first post after signing, can't wait to get to the strip club and them girls and it's Central Florida. Like, let's reel it back a little bit, my man. You got some stuff to prove. Last year wasn't the best for you as well in Arkansas. So let's reel that back in a little bit before we start talking about hitting the club and making it rain. But my guys, this was absolutely a blast. Kudos to the guys in the chat and in the live feed the whole time, throwing in their answers and their questions and stuff. We appreciate you guys filled in for the governor. It was fun being on the other end of this. Normally, I'm the guy getting real rapid fired over here, but I was able to stir the pot. It got hot. We did what we do best. Just talk football, and I appreciate you, gentlemen. Once again, CFB Nation, OverReaction Live. You know the deal.
Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir.